I don't know what the hell she wants from me. When I offered to give her my first check when I get a job, she said I was being mean.
Stupid hot soup! Stop being so damn hot!
Hello there, Reddita here, coming at you with a mother of the Groomzilla. I don't know, you will see. Please sub if you're new and like the video. If you enjoy it, smash that bell, then ask it about its mama. Video time. r/justnofamily. Worried my mom will ruin my brother's wedding. I have a previous post from a year ago that describes what my mother is like. In the intervening time, my therapist has identified her as having a martyr complex, which is a type of covert narcissism. In my last post, I indicated that my mom has established a pattern of ruining major life events over something small my brother or I did that to her seemed ungrateful. She thinks we never appreciate her for anything, which is absolutely absurd. No praise is enough to satiate her. Anyway, in June my brother is getting married to a woman he's had her LDR with for a few years. She lives on the opposite side of the country and the wedding is near where she lives, so we'll have to fly out to it. My mom is upset about every facet of it. She thinks my future sister-in-law and her family are going to steal my brother from her. For work reasons, after they marry they won't be able to live in our state, which my mom has been despairing about for months now. She's angry about the expenses, most notably a wedding gift, which according to her needs to stack up to the ones from my future sister-in-law's wealthy parents. Not to make my brother happy, mind you, she just doesn't want my future sister-in-law's family to think she's cheap. She says lots of nasty things about my future sister-in-law, mainly saying that she's spoiled and controlling. She also blames my brother for being a doormat. You might be wondering why I care about any of this. It's not my wedding, after all. For one thing, I love my brother and I like my future sister-in-law and I want their special day to be pleasant. But it's mostly because my mom will not stop fixating on the negative aspects of the wedding, and recently she began taking her grief out on me. I'm 22, in college, and living at home without a job because of COVID-19. My mother and stepdad are my only social interaction outside of the internet. I have no choice but to wallow in misery with her. Recently she got angry at me for some extra college fees. I lost my scholarship because my GPA fell to a 2.9 after a depressive episode I had in the fall. I kept telling her I would repay her when I got a job, but she kept getting mad at me for not being accountable. I began to cry because I don't do well with confrontation, and she thought I was pretending to cry to manipulate her. So I hid in my room to cry, but she followed me and said, please stop that, you're just making me feel guilty, as if I can just stop feeling sad on demand. Then she gave an apology saying, I'm just upset about the wedding, and I'm tired of giving and no one appreciating me. I feel taken advantage of. I don't know what the hell she wants from me. When I offered to give her my first check when I get a job, she said I was being mean. Her idea of being taken advantage of is not being adequately praised for helping my brother and I with college. By the way, there are so many things I wanted to say to her. I want to be alone right now, and you chose to have kids. But instead I said I was sorry, and agreed to spend time with her that evening. Later on after dinner, she was in a weirdly pleasant mood, asking me lots of questions, and trying to make conversation, as if the argument didn't happen. As if she hadn't taken out her anger at my brother on me and then ordered me not to feel sad. As if I wasn't sitting there in a bathrobe with bloodshot puffy eyes. I tried to be kind, but I mostly just grey rocked. I've read that narcissists can get a narcissistic glow when they feel they've asserted control. It certainly felt like that's what was happening. If she continues acting this way, I'm certain she'll have a nuclear meltdown at the wedding. This is a woman who ruined my graduation day over a piece of cake. I love her, but I don't know how long I can take this. It feels like she's draining something from me, and I feel guilty, like a parasite for still living with her. But I also feel like I can never leave now, because I'm the only person left who can take care of her as she gets older. Sometimes she can be pleasant and supportive, but other times she feels like a ball and chain. Have you discussed the situation with your brother? What are his feelings and future sister-in-laws about your mother's inevitable histrionics at the wedding? If you haven't, have a Zoom FaceTime call with the happy couple and tell them about your reservations. Ask them what the plans are for mother angling on the day when she goes into one of her woe is me acts. You need to come up with a plan to stop her ruining their big day with one of her meltdowns. You all know it's going to happen. It's just a case of when she is going to throw a tantrum that will focus everyone's attention on her. Does future sister-in-law have a good team of bridesmaids who are handy with red wine? Are there some hefty groomsmen who can whisk her away at the first sign of meltdown? Can your dad have a suspect heart attack on the morning of the wedding, but insist it all goes ahead without him, and your mother whose will surely stay to look after him? Can you have an accident that will require someone to stay with you? Or feed her a sedative that will calm her down, so she is a zombie? Remember the old adage, that a problem shared is a problem halved, so you do need to have a council of war with your brother and your father. Your mother needs to be told that the wedding day is one day where she needs to sit down in her backseat, her and shut up, and if she can't do that, she simply won't be invited and can stay at home and wallow in her self-inflicted woe is me misery. She should be under no illusions as to what will happen if she attempts to ruin their special day. My mom would absolutely flip a tit if she found out I told my brother what I said here. He already knows she's upset with him about basically everything surrounding the wedding, and so far he hasn't budged or even tried at all to mitigate her emotions. My mom had a tearful breakdown the other day when my future sister-in-law asked her to pick a song for the mother-son dance. Predictably, her criteria for a song was basically has lyrics about the mother being a martyr. My brother is kind of callous too, so his attempts to make things better have only made them worse. My future sister-in-law doesn't know about any of my mom's craziness or fake. My brother isn't willing to acknowledge my mom's tendencies. He's terrible when it comes to mental illness. I've been on medication for GAD for 7 years and he only truly believed I had it after doing his psychiatric rotation last year. He also isn't as close to our mom as I am and hasn't lived with her for the last 3.5 years. My dad also doesn't handle that sort of stuff well, which is part of why he and my mom divorced. I honestly think my mom needs to get on some sort of medication, like an SSRI. Right now she's very unstable. Your dad needs to tell your mom how bad she will look in front of everyone if she acts up, in particular the new in-laws. My dad is just about the last person on earth my mom would take advice from. They're divorced, and also he's incredibly non-confrontational, a trait he shares with my stepdad. My stepdad and dad are by no means assertive people. My mom has always worn the pants, so to speak. My dad just wants to be everyone's friend, and my stepdad is shy and conflict avoidant. Thing is, when I say ruin I'm not necessarily talking about the event itself. My mom typically waits until right after an event to let everything loose. She's excellent at bottling things up around strangers and acquaintances, but the minute she's alone with our immediate family, the rest of the day will certainly be ruined. Her way of ruining things is by putting a damper on a happy day, by throwing a tantrum in the evening. I don't even remember much of my actual graduation, but my memory of that evening at home, of her screaming and crying while I hid away, is still fresh in my mind. If she's going to ruin this wedding, that's going to be her method. /u/fetchy per this is why security wouldn't help, and also there's no way anyone would literally throw their mom out of a wedding, for Pete's sake. Here is the thing you desperately need to understand and accept. Before I get into the meat of this post, you are not obligated to be her caretaker. Not now, not later, not ever. You are not obligated to be her emotional support animal, her therapist, or her dumping ground for grievances. You are not obligated to her. No matter how much she tries to imply that you are. She did the job she was supposed to do when she had kids, raise them. And from the sound of it, she did a piss poor job, quite frankly. She has made it harder for you to navigate life outside of the relationship with her, when her job was the exact opposite. This is the chief reason I say you are not obligated to her for anything, even though if she had done a good job, that would be obvious. Now, to the meat of the post, you are worried she will ruin your brother's wedding. That seems pretty damn likely, considering she ruined your graduation over a piece of cake. So, how to manage it? For starters, begin coordinating with your brother and future sister-in-law. along with your brother, give her some insight, and see if they are at all interested in hiring/assigning someone, or multiple people, to be a mother-in-law wrangler. Someone who isn't afraid to be an asshole and possibly miss a long stretch of the party. Someone who, should your mother begin her histrionics and sabotage, will have no issue with forcibly removing her immediately and keeping her away, so everyone else can have a good time and keep her sabotage at a minimum. Outside of banning her from the wedding outright, this is the best move, if it can be done. As for the rest of it, you may be in a bad spot now that prevents you from escaping her or avoiding her bullshit, but practice grey rocking as much as possible and begin slowly working on separating yourself from her moods and emotions. It will be difficult, but it is possible. You'll fail at it a lot to begin with, but with practice you'll find it comes easier. At least until you are able to move out. Then I would recommend moving as far away from her as possible. You can love someone without feeling obligated to take care of them or manage their emotions. I've done it for years with my own mother and a couple of old friends who expected me to be their therapist. But it takes time, and most importantly separation. When this narcissist gets to the point where she can no longer care for herself, find out what social services are available for her within her price range and give her the information if she is capable of using it, or make arrangements for her care if she truly can't. Please do not set yourself on fire to keep her warm. Besides, who knows? By then, you may have a family of your own. It wouldn't be fair to inflict your mother's narcissism on your own children.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
Whoa, you made it to the end? Nice. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm a new channel, and it helps a lot more than you think. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.